again and welcome back to the channel. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is Full Deck Challenge Day and I have been thoroughly enjoying doing the challenge by Shana at ShanoukiArt. For those of you that don't know, just quickly, it's a full deck challenge where we have to alter a playing card each week. And we've done 5 weeks, so we're up to light blue today. I'll just pop those to the side. I have got a few things pulled out. I haven't figured everything out, but I do have a direction. So let's pull out find a card. I normally separate the colors so that I get a color that I think would go better, but today I don't really mind. So let's just throw a card out and see what we have. We are working with the 10 of spades today. I'll just pop them to the side, pull out and show you a little bit of what we've got. So for last week, I have to bring something forward. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to bring some of this sticky washi back in that is down here, down the side here, and it's got a little polka dot on it. It's a grid washi tape. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to use. I also have to use as part of my component, I have to use a paint swatch on the front of the card. So it's my constant for the whole year. So I did die cut out of these paint swatches. I die cut out a few baskets. So I'm not sure. I just did a few different colors. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but that is where I'm heading with the paint swatch. Then other than that, I do have a stamp out that's got a lighthouse on it from Fiji. It's a very nice stamp actually. I got this out of my stamp album that I've had probably for 45, maybe 48 years. So I'm not sure how old this one is, but it would have to probably be at least 30 years old. Anyway, that's the lighthouse. I do have some paper pulled out of an atlas that I was working with this week on some of the other projects that I've got on my channel. And they've just got coordinates on it. And I just thought that they might be good for adding a little bit of white space. And then I have quite a few pieces of torn paper and torn paper with boats on them. Now, they're not technically fishing boats, but some of them are, and some of them are leisure craft. But hey, I'm gonna run with it. I'm fine. And then I'm going to be using the saying "seize the day." So I'll tell you a little bit of a story about this. As you've probably noticed by now on my altered cards, I like to have a story, a strong story. And I'll get to why this saying is important to me, but also why I jumped at using, when I saw light blue and I found some images, I thought, oh, I'm going to jump onto that this week. So, and I've also fussy cut out some fish, and I think that technically they might be freshwater fish, some of them, but I'm okay with that too. So I'll just pop them to the side so we don't lose them, and we'll get started. I think I'm going to put my mat down today again. I know that it's a crusty old mat that I've had for a very long time, but I really don't want to damage my lovely oak desktop that my husband made for me. Okay, we're in the view, and I've got quite a few things here that I'm going to play with. As you can see, I've ripped out quite a few pages out of a book that I'm happy to tear apart, and I wanted to create a bit of a scene. or story of people that are fishing, doing, you know, sort of like all grouped together trying to harvest and fish like a run of fish, and grabbing the opportunity to get as many fish as they possibly can. I've torn out of a particular page, I think it was this one actually, a whole heap of boats, and I want to try and get as many boats on here as possible and as many fish. So I know that it's a very small space, so it's going to be interesting to see how I get it to work in a small area. So I wanted to have some sort of shoreline or, beach or something like that that grounded the composition. And then I've just been tearing out some of this water. It looks like water to me, and I want to tuck some fish into there so that it looks like there's a large school of fish. And then some of these bits of water, I'm not sure which ones, or maybe the boats actually, maybe all of the boats, like fighting for position to get as many fish as they can possibly get. So I'm just going to tear some of these edges so that I can get as many boats on here as possible that are all trying to get in on the run of fish. Okay, I think I've played with the boats a little bit, and I've figured out what I want to do with that, and I'm going to now start doing the background, I think, and setting up the background, just so that I can get everything fitting on. So I'll just move these boats to the side. I like the look of this horizon here. So let's tear that out. I've got a punch that I might like to use there. I'll just grab it. So I'm just going to put that on there and cut the edge away so I can get the punch on and punch out. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can tell that that's a spade. Yes, let's glue that down. Let's get something stuck down. I'll get my PVA glue that has not disappeared this week. Just going to glue with PVA, glue some of these things down. And I'm not sure if I've got any news for you this week. I am heading interstate to see my family. As I've mentioned previously, I live in Queensland, and most of my extended family, and where we are all from originally, we're from New South Wales. So I'm heading down to see family and celebrate a family member's big birthday that ends in a 0. And it's not a small 0, it's a big 0. So that's exciting. For those of you that have watched previously, you would know that I've been talking about my granddaughter starting school, and she's going a little bit better. Things are starting to click. All right, let's get some of these other things down. And like Shana said, let's just be free and try not to overplan it. Although I'm not sure that this already hasn't been planned. That's okay. I like to have a story in my compositions. Okay, so it's dried a little bit. I need to now put at least a small tearing of some of this washi tape. Let's get some of these boats on and be realistic about how many we should put on. Okay, I'm just going to glue down some of these boats now that I've worked out which order I want them. I might just see about this lighthouse. We might put the lighthouse on first. I don't know if they have lick stick on postage stamps anymore anywhere. I think they might just have turned them into stickers. I'm not really sure. Actually, I don't know the last time I used a postage stamp. There's our cuckoo clock. Okay, I'm back. The cuckoo clock has finished, and our cuckoo clock, it goes for a very long time, and it has lots of different chimes happening on it. And I never can work out what it's going to do and how long it's going to chime for. We're getting somewhere. All the boats are out trying to get their harvest. Let's cut this down just a little bit so I can see some boundaries. Okay, there we go. We don't have much washi tape on here actually. I think that I might put another slither. I'm not sure that I'm happy to say that that was the tiny little piece that I carried through. Bit of a cop out really, isn't it? Okay, stuck some of that on. Let's do some fish. And I was going to tell you why the seize the day was important to me. Now, to be honest, I don't know where I'm going to put this. To get to why I picked seize the day. When I was growing up, my father was always super optimistic about trying new things, giving things a go. And I remember I wouldn't be able to count how many times he would have said, yes, give things a go, seize the day, if there's a new opportunity, what have you got to lose? If it doesn't work, well then you know that you've given it a go. And I remember thinking to myself quite a few times as an adult that I should just give things a go. So the seize the day reminded me when I was, fiddling with this, that my father would always just say, yes, yes, love, give it a go. Why not? If I'd come up with this, harebrained idea of doing something, he'd say, sure, yeah, just try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You haven't lost anything. You've lost a little bit of time, but you've attempted to do something that you wouldn't normally have done. So the seize the day is just to remind me of my dad. My dad is not a fisherman, by the way. My dad, I can remember when we were little, we used to go prawning. I have memories of going prawning when I was little, casting out a net in the lake, and at dusk. And I remember getting bitten by mosquitoes or midges, and but I also remember there being a fire on the beach with a big saucepan where the prawns were getting cooked once we were pulling them out. Oh, I'm liking all these tails and heads sticking out. So you can see that where I'm heading with this story of seizing the day, that all of these boats out here, there's a huge harvest of fish, potential harvest of fish that they could get. So somehow I'm going to stick all these down and come back to you. Okay, so I'm just sticking down a few more fish heads. Ironically, my maiden name and my parents' name, their surname, is the name of a fish. How ironic is that? That is ironic. I think those ones are too big. I did pull out, this one actually looks like a tuna to me, but I don't really know any names of fish, and I'm sure that there would be people out there that would know the names of these much better than what I would. I think I want another one up high. This looks like a catfish to me, that one. This pink one's pretty cute. A little bit of colour shining through. I like the little basket handles. Let's stick one more fish, and I'm going to have a few of these tiny little ones. Those ones managed to escape. All right, let's glue this down and trim it off. I'm liking the look of that. And glue our basket on. So let's put some glue on here. You can see that the back of the die cut has got the Bunnings print on it. Good-o, that's great. I'm liking this little bit down here. Bit of relief from all the blue. Not sure that I'm going to fit this on Seize the Day. I'm okay about putting it on the back, that the story continues over the back. And trim this down and give it one final pass over of glue, just so that everything is sealed. And I'll hit that with the heat gun and let it dry. Okay, let's have a little bit of a look at where we're at. I am liking the story and where it's going, and I've just dried that off a bit. So let's tidy up, clear the decks, and we'll do the back and finish this up a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra colour on here. I just want to put a little bit of shadowing on it to get a little bit of extra depth into it, especially around the bottom of the boats, and add some depth. I love using colour pencils. I recently went to our art supply place. It's called Eckersley's here in Australia, and picked up some blending pens, and they're excellent. And what happens is you activate it with the pen. So this is what they are. They're Derwent blender pens. There's two sizes. So I'm just using Prismacolor's normal coloured pencils and then the blender pen. And when you hit it with the blender pen, it almost turns like watercolour. Okay, so I've just put a few shadows on that with the Prismacolor pencils, and I might hit it with a few splatters with I've got this acrylic ink. Okay, I just hit it with a few splatters. I like that. It actually looks a little bit like white paint. That you always see white paint when you go to the seaside of people painting things, and so I quite like that. All right, let's do the back of the card. I'm just going to pull out some of this paper, this blue paper, and put on the back, and I'm going to put Seize the Day on the back. Now, the whole Seize the Day thing, it's a little bit like one of those sayings like make hay while the sun shines and strike while the iron's hot. All those sort of old-fashioned sayings that you don't hear much anymore. You don't hear people saying them unless they're, older people. But the Seize the Day thing, to be honest, there's probably an emoji or a meme or something like that people use now that is kind of saying the same thing. But it's really about this is really about reminding me that opportunities arrive, and or a harvest is ripe for the picking, and to do it, to give things a go, or try things, or seize the day, go and try something new. So I really like this. I like that there's a bounty of fish. There's all these fishermen that are taking a lot of opportunity to, you know, get a massive haul of fish while it's happening. So that's what the story is today for me. So I'm just going to glue this on the back. That looks good. And let's move that to the side and work out where we're going to put seize the day. Maybe right there. Let's do the date. So today's date is the 10th of February. The year is ticking along, isn't it? I'm just going to glue this on the back with a little bit of art glitter glue, and then we'll put the eyelet in. Just doing a few scratchy lines to add a little bit of definition to some of this basket. And I'm thinking that I want a line around this week. Okay, so let's just put an eyelet in there and set it. This crocodile is one of the very best tools that I've ever bought for my craft room. So if you're ever contemplating, should I get one, shouldn't I get one, I have never looked back. Okay, so let's clear the decks and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, let's have a little look at our card. We have a seaside scenery with a basket of fish that has been collected by the fishermen, and that is completely overflowing with fish. And we've got a concentrated group of people that are actually fishing and seizing the day. So hence the name Seizing the Day. I like the way that they spelt seize the day too. It's kind of quirky. And yeah, it's just one of those little reminders for us to grab those opportunities when they come by our way and to give things a go. So thank you very much for joining. I'll pop this onto the ring with the other ones. I appreciate you spending the time watching my videos, and if you liked the card today, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be great. I will see you next week for our dark blue card. I'm assuming it's going to be a dark blue card. But yeah, thank you very much and see you next time.